Hey, good morning. Welcome to another move session. Check it out. Facebook fixed whatever glitch it is, and I'm horizontal again. Great news for anybody who's doing these sessions on YouTube. And sorry for the background noise. It should subside any moment. It's just my heater that I had on. Good morning, Betty. Because it's a little chillier than it was last week. I mean, I don't know. Come move to Canada if you want to have 30 degrees one day and 9 the next. Completely different weather systems happening here. Hope everybody had a good Canadian Thanksgiving. Yvonne, if she's joining us today, I feel like you have the same Thanksgiving over in the Netherlands, but I'm not sure. So starting out with some nice gentle twists. We're gonna aim to, first of all, we're gonna aim to start out gently, kind of, ease into the session today. Also helping to release and unlock some tension in the lower back and the spine. So kind of feeling how that feels in, if you have a tight lower back like I do, that's always my area to manage. That helps me sort of at least assess its tension for the day. If I can twist easily, I know it's good, and if it's a little bit stiff feeling, I know. And then I want to sort of be mindful of that as I go into the session. So now we're headed into some marches. First round is always no impact, and then we add some hopping in round 2, and then we increase to jumping in round 3. Having said that, you can keep all three rounds at low impact as we are doing here. So basically you can repeat the moves as I'm demonstrating them in this first round for all 3 rounds if that's where you're at right now. It's really important, I think, to not just to assess, accept, and embrace all 3 of those things where you're at, where you're starting from. That means not, judging or shaming or feeling guilty if you have slipped down a slippery slope away from where you'd like to be. We all have time periods in our life where that happens. I was teaching a class last night, and I was reflecting on, the slippery slope I was in probably prior to COVID, but COVID just kind of gave me a push down the slide. Or I gave my own self a push down the slide, I suppose, but slipped into a new low and sat there for a couple years, and eventually got sick of feeling like garbage and feeling so far from where I felt like I wanted to be, and started to claw myself out of that hole that I had sunk myself into. And only really this year, this 2023, do I feel like I've re-achieved a place where I've been in the past, but even better, because as we age and as we gain experience, if we apply thought, reflection, and curiosity to our experiences, we can learn from the things that we've experienced in the past or gone through in the past. We can learn, and we can grow from those things. And my goal, my hope for myself and my hope for you is that if you can always be curious, you can always be learning, you're always going to be growing, right? And so I'm excited for the year ahead, but I'm excited for the last few months of 2023 because, I don't know if anybody else, so I'm adding a hop, but remember, you can keep it at low impact, no impact if you wish. No judgment, you'll work your way up in due time. All you have to do is keep showing up. What was the quote I posted today? It's never a good time to quit. I don't know, something like that, from Norman Vincent Peale. I'm reading his book right now, and I'm really enjoying it, and I am thankful to my friend Tanya, who had reached out a couple of weeks ago asking me for book recommendations for positive outlook, like thinking, how can I see the positive in things and stop seeing the negative in things? And I thought to myself, I haven't read mindset books in quite a while, and so I Googled it, and that book showed up. The Power of Positive Thinking showed up on every list, and I thought, I have that book, and I don't know if I've read that book. I bought it, and I probably bought it with a bunch of other books and never actually got through it. So I pulled it out, and it's funny how we are led to things because of that, because of Tanya asking that question, led me to open that book. And it was kind of the starting of some creativity and inspiration that I needed in my life anyways. Really enjoying it. But what I was going to say is it's that time of year where, I don't know if anyone else does this, we shelve everything that we had planned for 2023 and we're like, 2024 is around the corner, I'll work on that stuff then. For now, we're going into holiday season, and I think that's what it is too, is we head into holiday season. It's one thing after another. It's, for Canada, we just had Thanksgiving. We go right into Halloween, and then right into basically Christmas season. And so it becomes like that slippery slope again, where you're sliding along, and then you jet down a really steep decline into New Year's. Oh no, these guys first. And all of a sudden find yourself down at the bottom again. And it's almost like a vicious cycle, because then January 1st comes along and you repeat the cycle of the previous year. Anyway, we don't want to do that. We still have 2.5 months left of 2023, and I proposed the idea a week or two ago about 3-1-3. So 3 small habits that you can commit to once a day for the last 3 months of the year. And so what are those 3 things going to be? So maybe they're going to be a 30-second plank every day, 10 squats every day, and a glass of water in the morning. 3 small habits that you can commit to once a day. Usually when I commit to something once a day, it becomes a focus, right? So it becomes something that I tick off a list every day, and often I'll end up doing more. So, the ones that I'm focusing on are my push-ups, my pull-ups, and my core. And so I'm finding, my 3 is I gotta do push-ups once a day, so a set of 10 or a set of 20, usually a set of 20. I gotta do pull-ups just as many as I can, because some days I can do 5, some days I can do 7. But what I'll end up doing is I'll do a few more push-ups again throughout the day. So I'll yesterday ended up with 40 push-ups. And so the key is that these things become a focus to you. And if you want to progress in anything, it has to be top of mind, has to be present on your mind. You achieve what you think about. So, and it's very true. And a lot of the times what we think about is unintentional. We're thinking about, the debt that we have, right? All we think about is the debt that we have. Well, how long do we stay in debt when we're always thinking about debt? Because the debt is the focus. The focus needs to be earning income, right? You focus on earning income, income is going to come into your life. You focus on, eating healthier foods. I just had a little epiphany here just now. So, the mind doesn't grasp or comprehend the negative. So I'll give you an example. I just did. are stuck in surmounting debt. And what tends to happen is we focus on the debt. And we think we're doing the right thing because we're focusing on the debt, so we want to fix it. But when you whatever you focus on grows. So you grow the debt. What you need to focus on is making money, right? So I just thought of an example when it comes to our diets. You know, there's two ways to sort of fix your diet. One is to eliminate things. One is to include things, right? And one of the tips I came up with recently was, instead of focusing on eliminating things, focusing on including things. Because if you're so focused on including things, you're not going to have room to eat the things that you wanted to eliminate. But your focus isn't on the elimination, because focus on eliminating something, all you're really thinking about is that thing, right? Your focus and your energy is going into that thing, even though you're eliminating it. But what you focus on grows. And so what we want to focus on is inclusivity of things versus elimination. And the elimination will happen as a byproduct of that, right? I mean, that's an obvious thing. Maybe not. You know what, we're gonna do sets of 10 today. So I have, my legs are gonna hate me today because I did legs yesterday, but I want to do legs again today. So we're gonna start with marches, the marches that we've been doing, and I'm gonna do one-sided marches. I think I'm going to do. I got some new stuff for us today, but we're going to start with old stuff. So we're going to do 10 on each side marches. So now here's another option, would be to hold 2 weights and march like this, or 2 weights and march like this. This is, I should have worn a tank top. I knew I was making a mistake. All right, let's start with this. Okay, ready? So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do offset ones. So you're going to hold 1 weight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's exercise 1. Exercise 2 is going to be lateral squats. So I'm going to give you a couple different ways you can do this. You can do this with no weights. I'm sure I have enough room here. You can do this with no weights, like this. What we want to do is focus on good depth in that squat. Okay, we're not starting yet, I'm just demonstrating. If that bothers your knees or doesn't feel good, you can go into side squats. I'm going to try 2 weights for this one. Okay, so this is option 3. This would be the hardest one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay, this is the new one we're going to try today. So we've done split squats before, but we're gonna do split squats with the front. So usually we do split squats with the back leg up. Today we're gonna do split squats with the front leg up. So I'm gonna grab my weights in a minute, but I'm demonstrating. So we want this knee to remain in a right angle, and we want your back leg back. This is going to work your quads. You're gonna feel your quads on this one. We're gonna do 10 per side. Okay, so stepping back, giving yourself lots of space to work in this movement. 1, 2, you can use a step. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, I can feel these. 8, 9, and 10. Oh boy. Other side, I don't know which ones I like. You can use a step for these, just like if you have a step in your living room. You can also do these without elevating your front foot if you don't have anything. You could use a, one of those old Reebok step aerobic steps. You don't want it too high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay. These are going to work the quads. So if you have any kind of knee issues or you tend to feel stuff in your knees, these are going to be good to strengthen the quads, but you may feel, if you're feeling it in your knee, don't use the front. And you can always change it around to the back if that feels better to you. Doesn't matter, they're going to both be equally as effective, just in different ways. So that is round 1. Move this back. And we'll take a moment and then we'll go into round 2. I don't remember what I was talking about when I got into, but I'm counting, so I can't talk as much when I'm counting, which, you know, might be good for you. I am regretting not wearing a tank top though. My bra doesn't match my shorts. I'm sure you don't care, but. Okay, so back to marches. So again, the best way to modify any of these movements that we're doing today is by eliminating the weights. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So putting those down, and then we're going into the 1. If you started with your right leg last time, start with your left leg this time. Okay, lifting from the core. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Going into side lunges next. So dropping to one side. 2, 3, 4, 5, getting that butt down. 6, 7, chest is up. 8, core is in. 9, and 10. And then, so if you can remember which leg you did first, do the other one first this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Are you guys finding, I found it easier on this leg than this leg for some strange reason. That's why it's good to do single leg stuff sometimes, because it reveals the imbalances that you might have in your body that you might generally not necessarily be aware of. Because your body will do all kinds of stuff to compensate for that. How you'll feel it is in, back pain, shoulder pain, hip, like something will hurt, but you don't necessarily know where it's coming from. And so sometimes doing single leg exercises, you become aware, the sides are different. Okay, let's explore that a little further. And then some of the mobility stuff, I've learned some of the, like yoga, you'll notice that you'll be tighter one side than the other. So really good to work towards having that balance to offset those imbalances so that you don't have those injuries that plague you. Okay, round 3. Whew. Okay, so going into the marches, so 10, lifting that knee. This is really truly a core exercise. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, other side, one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then our other side. So we want to do this slow and controlled, and we're lifting the leg, but we're using the core. So you may not feel the core until you start to get into heavier weight. Nine and 10. Okay, then we got our side squats. Come over here. I don't like to step on the cracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. All right, let's do this last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, I need a moment. Those are so good, but I am feeling them. Okay, other side. Always fun to do something new. What do you guys think of these? Okay, This is the side that I struggle with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Okay, that is round 1 done. We're going to do split squats the other way for our next round. I'm just debating whether I want a higher. I'm going to find a higher step for this one. I'm just seeing how these feel. So we'll work towards the extra, but we're going to do that for our back ones. We're going to do deadlift. So I'm going to grab my heavy weight here. I'm going to work on deadlifts. What's called a front squat. So we're going to have our weights here and we're going to squat down like so. So the weight will be in front of us today. So deadlifts. And then this one. Okay, you guys ready? Oh, I'm gonna grab these ones. I might regret it, but okay. So we're starting with our front squats. So weight is in front of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And you can do any version of squat. If you're a beginner, I want you just to do air squats. Just focus on doing the squat, getting your butt down, keeping your chest up. Don't worry about weights until you've got the movement down. If you've got the movement down, you start with a goblet. And then if you want to increase it, you're going to hold the 2 weights. You can get a little bit more weight that way. All right, deadlifts. So the key with our deadlift is we want the weight, you can be using dumbbells, right? But you want your weight not out in front of you. You want it connected to your body. So if you're using a kettlebell, you want it between your feet. If you're using dumbbells, again, you're going to put them between your feet and pull them up so they stay. So you're going to aim for your arches and drag them up your legs, right? The other key is keep your chest out. So standing, lift your shoulders up, back, down. See how that chest is out? We want to keep that. So we want to hold that position. So keep that position as you bend over and you grab the weight. We're going to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Okay, and then we're going to do split squats, but our back foot is going to be up this time. So again, make sure you have a nice wide stance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switching to the other side. My legs are really trashed today. I did a pretty heavy workout yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Okay, that's round 1. Is anyone feeling like this, like me? So I had a long drive this weekend to Mont Tremblant, so about 5.5, 6 hours in the car with myself. And so I plugged into some podcasting. I love to learn, right? And I love to learn, you know, I don't know if people think podcasting is a good place to learn or a bad place to learn, but in my mind, there's a lot of information being shared in a space where I think, so if we're talking about menopausal health, menopausal fitness, menopausal wellness, women specifically, there's not a lot of scientific studies out there studying women, so it's almost up to us as women to talk, right? To talk to each other and say what's working or what we've learned. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so I feel like I learn a lot from podcasts because you hear from experts. Experts get to present their learnings and their findings, and you can relate or not relate. Anyways, I found a great podcast. It's called Hit Play Not Pause. It's for active women in menopause, and talking about a lot of things that people just are not talking about that are so mainstream, like intermittent fasting, like keto, so cutting, eliminating carbs, or really, really limiting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which has been said for years, not necessarily good for women, right? These strategies. And so I heard some stuff that I thought I would pass along to you that I thought was really interesting. So it's pretty much undisputed, undisputed, like in a space where everything's disputed, it is undisputed that women need protein as we age. The importance of protein as we age. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you are intermittent fasting, so if you have a window of eating that is 6 hours long, or even 8 hours long, and you're fasting the rest of the time, how are you getting your protein needs in? And I thought that was like a bit of a light bulb moment in terms of the kind of dispute of fasting for women and how, generally speaking, and there's always the outliers that do well on it. They're probably not active though. 4, 3, 2, 1, necessarily, right? So if you're not active, maybe not, right? But if you're active, if you're wanting to be active, sorry to repeat that word, but if you're golfing, you know, you're walking, you're running, you're lifting, you're playing pickleball, you know, you're out doing stuff, you gotta eat. You gotta eat protein. You need you know, let's say 100 grams a day of protein. How are you eating protein? That means you gotta eat 4 times in 8 hours. 4 to 5 times in 8 hours. How are you gonna do that? Like, you're just gonna always eat through those 8 hours. Spacing out your eating is not bad. That's not to say, you know, a temporary fast for cleansing, detoxing is bad. I think that's probably quite beneficial, kind of like the 5-day drop. The 5-day drop to me is like, when I think about it, it's like, I compare it to cleaning out your closet, because you basically take everything out the first day, right? You take everything out of your closet on that first day. You clean, you purge, and then that night you start putting just what you need back in. So by the end of the 5 days, you have what you need going into your body, and then you go from there. Do I need more? Is this sufficient? How would I tweak this? Right? You know, do I need some of those? Do I need one fancy dress? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Oh goodness, never been a fan of front squats. Okay, so anyway, there were so many tidbits I took in, but that was one of the kind of the ahas, was some of the things that we are really focusing on in society are not good for women in menopause, generally speaking. There's always going to be one person that's like, I do it and I feel great and I've never felt better and la la la. Yeah. Not everything works for everybody, but generally speaking, intermittent fasting, cutting your carbs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then the other one was, so cutting your carbs, fasting. Oh my God, it just like flew out of my brain. I think what we do is we want to do these specialty things, but we don't want to do the basics. That was the other thing. It's like the analogy of getting to base camp first, which I loved that analogy. Basically, like, we want to limit our fruit. We want to limit our carbs. You know, we want to limit our eating window. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Instead of focusing on the basics first. The basics are get rid of processed food. I hate it. I hate to say it, guys. Get rid of alcohol. Sit there for a bit. Eat. You know, I thought to myself, there's no need to learn how to read nutrition labels if we're eating whole foods. There's no nutrition label for a banana, right? Yet, oh, don't eat too many bananas, they're gonna make you fat. 3, 2, and last one. Woo! You know, we buy too many packaged foods. Even when we're eating healthy, we're still buying packaged foods. We're buying, you know, we're cutting out gluten. So instead of cutting out bread and pasta that have gluten in them, we look for gluten-free versions of the same thing. You guys know that's a pet peeve of mine. Focus on eating whole foods. And back to that, what I was talking about at the beginning is like, if you're focused on eating whole foods, you're not focused on not eating processed foods. So I was talking to my class last night Okay, we're gonna finish up with, I wanna just do a bit of hamstrings. So if you don't have a ball, or if you're a beginner, you're gonna do glute bridges, which are gonna look like this. It's gonna come down and attack me. You can do your glute bridges on the floor, like this. Or you can do your glute bridges with your feet up on whatever you're using for your, if you're using a step. We're gonna do, if you have a ball, we're gonna do hamstring curls. All right, ready? So coming up and rolling in. 1, 2, 3, my socks are coming off. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I gotta take my socks off for this one. They're gonna come off anyways. We're gonna do 3 sets of 10 like that. Just taking a little break. We did a lot for quads today. A lot of stuff today we did focused on quads. So I just want to kind of finish off by doing a little bit of hamstring just to get those guys fired up. We do most of our leg work we do on hamstrings and glutes because most of us are over strong, over dominant on the quads. 1, that's better. 2, butt is up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Woo! We're going to do one more set like that. So I think what we need to do, I love this analogy, is we need to get to base camp and then we go to Everest. So base camp is establishing whole foods, lots of water, you know, kind of like a really good solid base before we worry about tweaking. You know what, the perfect guide to that is my Start Eating Diets in the Pursuing Wellness Facebook groups. If you're not in there, join the Pursuing Wellness Facebook group. Every Sunday I post a menu, and those menus are all based on whole foods. So you know if you eat anything off that menu, it's whole food based. 2, if you follow that diet first, that is your starting point. 3, so that's 4, 5 more. 5. Once you've established that, then you go to a program like Best Me, and you learn to eat portions that suit you, your activity level, and your goals. Woo! Okay, that is it for today. Well done. My legs are absolutely pooched, toasted, dusted. We have 2 minutes left, so I lied. I'm gonna make you do one more thing. I'm gonna make you do what's called the core hollow. I need a timer. We're gonna aim to hold this for 1 minute. So the buzzer is gonna go twice. All right, I'm gonna try holding a weight on this. I'm gonna suggest that you don't, because I would try it first. If all goes well, next time we do this, because we'll be doing these regularly, this is my new thing, you can hold a weight. So it's basically boat is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna be in a bit of a curved position doing so. I gotta move this way. Okay, when the buzzer goes, we're going into that position and we're gonna hold it for a minute. You're gonna hear the buzzer at 30 seconds. I want you to make sure your lower back is pressed into the ground, okay? So the higher you bring up your legs and arms, the easier it is. The lower you drop your hands and arms, the harder it is. We're holding it for a minute. Make sure that back is pressed into the ground. This is called core hollow. You're breathing through it. Do not use a weight if this is your first time holding core hollow. 30 more seconds. Continue to hold. We're aiming for a minute. If you need to support your neck, you can put your hands behind your head. Nice deep breaths into that core. Holy moly. And that's it. Now we're done. I will see you all tomorrow. Have an awesome Tuesday. And thanks for joining me.